Well-packaged and long-grain parboiled rice from Kano, Umza rice, Ebony from Ebony rice, Benue Mikap rice is on the market. They are tastier, ladies and gentlemen, and healthier, ladies and gentlemen, than 15-year-old rice dumped on the Nigerian market. The jinx has been broken. We will soon be free from rice imports. To reduce our import bill on wheat annually, we embarked once again with Mr. President's support on the cassava flour substitution policy to replace some of the wheat flour used in bread and confectionaries. Today, several of the major bakeries in the country and master bakers have shifted to the incorporation of 20% high-quality cassava flour with wheat to produce bread. As the commercialization of cassava bread reaches its peak, it will reduce our wheat import by at least 127 billion naira and put this back in the pockets of Nigerian farmers, our processors, and our bakers. To accelerate the production of high-quality cassava flour, the government is supporting private sector to access cheap financing to import and establish 18 large-scale cassava processing plants. To complete the value chain for the production of cassava bread, Mr. President has established 10 billion naira cassava bread fund. Now, you take a look at Mr. President. He's a very handsome man. You take a look at yourself and the person next to you, and take a look at the lady next to you. You will see they are also handsome and beautiful. But I can guarantee you, if you eat Nigeria's cassava bread, you'll be looking much better than you're looking right now. The whole of the value chain of cassava is being transformed. In Kogi State, about 15,000 hectares is being developed by Cargill to produce cassava starch and reduce our imports of starch. In Kwara State, the flour mills of Nigeria have come in to establish plants to turn cassava starch into sweeteners and reduce sugar imports. Nigeria secured a total of 3.2 million metric tons of cassava chips exports to China. When concluded, this will earn our farmers and processors over $800 million. A silent revolution is happening now for wheat. We have released new tropical wheat varieties that are heat tolerant, which gives you yield of 500 to 600% above the yield our farmers were getting before. These varieties would give you 5 to 6 tons per hectare. Over the next 2 years, 450,000 hectares will be planted in these new wheat varieties all across the wheat growing belt of northern Nigeria. My ministry, working very closely with the Ministry of Water Resources, plan to produce at least 2.5 million metric tons of wheat. We will reduce the wheat imports in our country by 50%. By 2015, we will be free. We are changing the narrative in our horticulture sector. Nigeria is the second largest producer of citrus in the world, but we import orange juice. We are the largest producer of pineapples and mangoes in Africa, but we import concentrates from South Africa. We are the largest producer of tomatoes, but we import tomato paste. That also is changing. Terra Agro has established in Makurdi, and it was opened by His Excellency the President, a $6 million plant to process oranges into concentrate. In Kano, Dansa Food is investing $35 million in establishing a tomato processing plant. The company is also investing $45 million to set up a 6,000 hectares pineapple plantation and processing plant in Cross River State. To develop the export market for fresh produce from Nigeria into Europe and other parts of the world, a new fresh produce value chain development program has been launched by Mr. President in partnership with the Ministry of Aviation to use cargo airports to enhance our competitiveness in the export of fresh produce. We are restoring Nigeria's lost glory in palm oil production. We are recapitalizing our plantations. We provided 9 million high-yielding improved seedlings of oil palm to farmers and plantation estates in the country. And for every single seed since last year, for all of our farmers, Mr. President asked us to do it free of charge. Private sector investments are expanding rapidly in palm oil processing plants. Okomo and Presco are now two of the best performing stocks in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. As part of our efforts to revitalize the cotton sector, government provided free of charge improved cotton seed in 2012. Over 75,000 hectares of cotton were planted under high-yielding cotton seed. This is the first time in decades that cotton farmers in this country will get free, good quality seeds. The farmers produced 250,000 tons of seed cotton. We revamped 8 of the gineries that had gone moribund for years. I grew up in Western Nigeria. Cocoa was everything. In cocoa, our target is to double the production of cocoa from our current level of 25,000 metric tons to 500,000 metric tons by 2015. The world cocoa industry has noticed the giant strides we are already making. We distributed 3.5 million pods of high-yielding cocoa hybrids to our farmers, all free of charge, in addition to production inputs. Last year, our cocoa sector earned us $900 million in foreign exchange. Private sector cocoa processors have expanded their processing capacity for value addition to cocoa beans. We should be making chocolate here at home, not in Europe or the United States. We are transforming our livestock sector. Our halal certified beef system with cold chains is now poised to go international. And Mr. Alhaji Tafida, who is actually spearheading that, Mr. President, is sitting right here with us this morning. We are working to make Nigeria self-sufficient in fish production within 4 years by encouraging aquaculture, inland fisheries, and marine fisheries. Mr. President, we completed a total of 10 new silos for strategic food reserves within the last 1 year, expanding our silos capacity from 250,000 metric tons in 2011 to 1.3 million metric tons in 2012, a 400% increase. These silos are now being provided under concessions to the private sector for the establishment of world-class agricultural commodity exchanges. In the past 18 months, we have attracted private sector financing commitments to the sector, with $4 billion in executed letters of intent for investments. Development financing institutions such as the Africa Development Bank, the president of the bank is here today, the World Bank, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, USAID, DFID, and several others are putting in $2 billion to back the agricultural transformation agenda, as well as irrigation and water resources development. The banks, many of them are here today, are lending more to agriculture more than ever before. Total bank lending to the agriculture sector rose from 3.5 billion naira in 2012 to 25 billion naira this year. I thought you'd clap at this for the banks. The NISOL facility, developed by the Central Bank and the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, is working. The Bank of Agriculture has been recapitalized by His Excellency the President. The impact of the agricultural transformation agenda has been significant for the country. Additional 9 million metric tons of food was added in 2012-2013 to our domestic food supply. That is 80% higher than the annual target of 5 million metric tons that we had set. Food imports declined by 857 billion naira by the end of 2012. Our import bill, for example, for wheat, for rice and sugar, declined by $3 billion in 2012. Agricultural exports expanded by 822,000 metric tons in 2012. Agricultural sector's contribution to non-oil exports expanded last year by 759 billion naira. Over 2.7 million farm jobs were created, which is 77% of the target of 3.5 million jobs that we had actually planned for 2015. Agriculture has become the new buzz in Nigeria. Young graduates are moving into agriculture as a business. Today, bankers are leaving the banks and heading into agriculture. The new millionaires and billionaires of Nigeria will be in agriculture. It is a new dawn. Mr. President, none of this will have been achieved without your amazing leadership and support. You backed us up all the way. I am immensely grateful, Your Excellency. Many thanks to our great farmers, my cabinet colleagues, the private sector, all the state governors, the Senate and House committees on agriculture for their support and partnership. I thank all my hard-working staff, my colleague Bukar Tijani, my permanent secretary, and all my staff, and all the development partners. The journey to make Nigeria a global powerhouse in food is still long. The results we have achieved in 2 years under Mr. President's leadership make me confident that we will get there. For agriculture was Nigeria's past, and in agriculture as a business lies Nigeria's greater future. Thank you very much, and God bless.